Hello everyone, my name is Marcus G. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Chicago Fire's 12th season has been jam-packed with fascinating updates, ranging from weddings that are sure to make you swoon to changes that have taken place within Firehouse 51. Violet McCamey, played by Hanako Greensmith, is currently being congratulated on her recent elevation to the position of paramedic in charge. Watch Chicago Fire on NBC on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and 8 p.m., and on Peacock the following day. After the departure of Sylvie Brett, Kara Kilmer, Violet was the obvious option to take up the role because of her fiercely competitive perfectionism and her passionate dedication. Violet's promotion, on the other hand, comes with the job that she will no longer be doing. On the beginning, Violet believed that she would have the opportunity to choose who would be accompanying her on the ambulance. However, the no-nonsense paramedic Chief Robinson, played by Laura Allen, had other ideas and ultimately insisted on choosing her replacement and hiring a new member of Firehouse 51. Greensmith shared her thoughts on the ideal companion for Violet during an interview with NBC Insider. She also shared her thoughts on the person who would be Violet's worst nightmare on a call. Violet wants someone who's competent, wants someone who's drama-free, wants someone that is loyal, and wants someone that is responsible, Greensmith stated in an interview. I think she has really high standards for her work, and I think she would want the same thing from her partner. I feel like someone who would be really hard for her to work with is someone who doesn't listen to her commands, doesn't respect her as a paramedic in charge, she continued talking about. Additionally, I believe that it would be challenging to be in a relationship with someone who is careless, unpredictable, or who does not really value the profession in the same way that she does. I believe that any one of those components would be capable of producing a storm that is a perfect storm on AMBO 61. In order to determine who will be able to replace the vacuum that Brett leaves behind, tryhards have been perched. This does not appear to be going to be a smooth journey for Violet, which is a great disappointment. Here is what took place during the 7th episode of Season 12, titled Red Flag. Jared Lennox, who was portrayed by Wazam Kish, a guest star on Law and Order. Organized Crime, is a new employee at Firehouse 51. He served as Brett's substitute on the ambulance and was assigned there by Violet's supervisor, who was known for his sour disposition. At the beginning of the episode, Violet was excited about her first day as Pi C, but she was also anxious about meeting her replacement because she had no influence in who would take her place. Although Violet had a sneaking suspicion that Robinson had her best interests in mind, Chief Wallace Bowden, played by Eamon Walker, reassured her that Robinson was in the process of locating a suitable candidate. To the rescue comes Jared Lennox, a firefighter hailing from the suburbs of Chicago. When Violet and Lennox made their initial call to Firehouse 51, there was friction between them, despite the fact that their introductions went off without a hitch. An elderly person was exposed to carbon monoxide as a result of a house fire that was considered to be rather typical. When Violet instructed Lennox to administer 2 intravenous lines to the patient, he questioned her instruction, which caused the treatment procedure to be delayed. He reluctantly followed with Violet's command when she yelled out for him to obey her instruction. Chicago Fire Season 12. Everything you need to know is related to this. Violet had an odd reaction to the conversation, so she approached him and told him that there is no time to discuss the many treatment possibilities when there are the lives of precious people at risk. Lennox stated that he had no intention of offending anyone, and he mentioned that his previous station had been open to suggestions. The statement that Violet made to him, "I'm sorry the bells went off before we had a chance to talk procedure, but this is how it works here," was met with a hesitant "copy that" from Lennox. Violet's nerves were not calmed by the confrontation, which is what prompted her to approach Lieutenant Stella Kidd, played by Miranda Ray Mayo, in order to receive guidance regarding what she ought to do. Violet's frustrations were shared by Stella, who expressed her understanding, but cautioned her not to take the disrespect laying down. Stella urged Violet to maintain her safety and refrain from making excuses, and she reminded her to deliver the Violet vibe full force. Episode 8 of the 12th season of Chicago Fire features appearances by Jared Lennox, who plays Wazam Quiche, and Violet McCamey, who plays Hanako Greensmith. Photographed by NBC's Adrian S. Burroughs Sr. During the time that Lennox was adjusting to his new environment, Kelly Severide, played by Taylor Kinney, dealt with the aftermath of the house fire, which resulted in a young woman for the time being without a place to live. During the time that the girl was waiting for her grandma to be released from the hospital, the 51 firemen made it possible for her to spend the night at the station. The gesture puzzled Lennox, who appeared to be perplexed by the friendly hospitality that 51 extended, despite the fact that it was not procedure. When Violet and Lennox were called to the scene of a choking guy, Violet assumed that the man needed a shock since he had gone into anaphylactic shock. However, everything went completely wrong after that. Lennox responded, "You're the new pikey if you say so, I'm on it," which instantly caused the woman who had called 911 to become anxious and doubt what they were doing. Despite the fact that no one wants a novice to save their husband, the scenario was an unneeded diversion from the disaster that was taking place. It turned out that Violet was right about her assumption, as she was able to save the civilian after she had shot him. However, this experience left an even more unpleasant taste in her mouth regarding her new colleague. Violet yelled out to Lennox just as the paramedics finally returned to the scene at 51. As Violet accused him, "You used the term new PIC on purpose to cast doubt on my abilities in front of the victim and his wife." Lennox refuted the accusation, claiming that he was only deferring to her. Violet's accusation was heard by Lennox. Violet stated, "I can't have my partner undermining me on every call." The statement was made. "That's not going to work." "I'll make sure that it never happens again," Lennox told her the other day. "That's 2 strikes, Lennox," Violet exclaimed. "It's a record. You have 1 left." The question, "What's the deal with this place?" was posed by Lennox to Sam Carver, who was played by Jake Lockett, while the 2 of them were in the steam room. "Chief Robinson sent me a warning." 51 had a reputation for pushing beyond the borders of acceptable behavior, but man. After that, Lennox started to throw complaints about the station, which eventually led to remarks about Violet and her controlling approach, despite the fact that she was no great shakes herself. Carver, as was to be expected, was not going to let these remarks go uncalled for. The words that Carver spoke to him were, "You have no idea how fortunate you are to be riding with her." "What are you talking about? Do you have something going on with her?" "Nothing to worry about," Lennox shrugged. "Man, I fail to say or do anything that is correct. Despite the fact that I am making an effort, I have the impression that I will never be able to fit in at the age of 51, which is more than acceptable to me." Despite the fact that Lennox rushed off, it was quite evident that this conflict was not going away. Bowden had a disturbing phone call, which prompted him to pay Violet and Carver a visit at Molly's in order to inform them of some unfortunate news. Lennox had lodged a formal complaint against Violet, and Bowden wanted to let them know about it. Moreover, he lodged a charge against 51 for harboring a civilian, which is a much more serious offense. It dawned on the 51 buddies that they had a terrifying realization. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe my fast gossip to our channel, and stay with us.